dog today. This is Bruno. He lives here in Cornwall, and we come down to look after him every so often, which we really enjoy. He's a lovely old thing. So thank you for joining me. I'm Elisa, and it's really nice to see you here on your yoga mat, ready for a class. So we're going to start today's practice kneeling with our sit bones on our heels. And as you come to kneeling, make sure that if you've got tight knees, you've got something rolled up underneath the knees, like a towel, blanket, even the top that you might have just taken off, a jumper, so you've got a little bit more space in the knee crease, particularly if your knees are tight. So that might help you just to get a little bit more comfortable in kneeling. But if you get there and your knees really are not happy, and I don't mean a sort of stretchy feeling, something that just really does feel uncomfortable and painful, then sit in a way that suits you better, maybe cross-legged. But just wanted to get you into a kneeling position if possible, so that you can get a little stretch for your thighs as you sit quietly and close your eyes. So draw up really tall through your spine. Mould your hands to your knees and thighs, and palms facing down. That might help you to feel a little bit more grounded, centred, a sense of stability. Let your shoulders relax, the neck be long, chin neutral, parallel to the earth. And with your closed eyes fixed upon the screen in front of them, try to focus on that point just above the space between the two eyebrows. The mind's eye, as it's sometimes referred to, or the third eye, Brahmadya center. And as you allow yourself just to focus on that point, watch the breath as it flows in through the nose and travels up past that point upon which you focused your gaze, and travels right up into your midbrain and cascades down into your belly to fill your belly and your chest. And as the breath departs and it travels back via the well-worn route through which it arrived, be aware of the breath now warmed by the lungs, pouring out slowly, steadily and completely through the nose. Take another deep breath in and feel your belly expand, your spine lengthen, your chest open. And as you exhale, feel your belly cave, your sit bones ground, and that feeling of letting go. Take a moment or two just to scan your body and take stock of how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling mentally, emotionally and spiritually, and acknowledge how much energy you've got to spare today. Also set any positive affirmation, your I am statement for your practice, your sankalpa. A simple statement set in the present tense. And as you recite that short intention in your mind, imagine just sowing the seeds of your intention into the fertile soil of your increasingly relaxed body and brain. So opening your eyes, just take a deep breath in and look up towards the sky through heart and eyes. And as you exhale, with your hands still moulded to your thighs, just cave your belly and slowly arch your back. Inhaling, work your way through the spine, coming into a seated back bend, seated dog tail. And exhale as you bow your head to your heart and cave your belly, chin to the chest, gaze to the navel. Another one the same, deep breath in again, lifting your gaze through heart and eyes. Exhale, tailbone tucks between your thighs as your belly caves and your head bows down to your heart. Keep going with that. Slow breath in and exhaling. Deep breath in and exhale everything. One more the same. As you inhale, travel your way up through the spine into your back bend, and exhale as you cave your belly and bow your head to your heart and come into your kneeling forward fold. Now come to a neutral spine, hanging like a plumb line. Take your hands out wide, take a stretch up towards the sky, and then just imagine you're plucking stars out of the heaven as you just stretch up the side body. And as you reach up alternately with your fingertips to the sky, just feel a little movement into the lower back, into the mid back, into the side body. And once you've plucked a few more stars from the heavens, reach up and grab your main prize, grab the moon, and reach up and stretch out through both sides of your body from armpits to hips. As you exhale, take your hands for a spin behind your back and thread your fingers near your tail. As you inhale, take another variation on dog tail, sending your knuckles to the floor and puckering together the flesh between the shoulder blades. Smile enigmatically upwards towards the heavens. On the exhale, cave your belly and take a variation on child pose, bowing your head towards the earth, lifting your knuckles towards the sky. If possible, bringing a little bit of weight bearing upon your third eye, upon your brow. Breathe into what's there. Each time you inhale, imagine lifting or trying to lift your shoulders off of your back rib cage as the knuckles ascend. As you exhale, everything's softening, melting down towards the ground. Another deep breath in again. And a slow exhale. Lower the knuckles back down to your tail and release your fingers from their bind and extend your arms out in front of you. And as you do, just coming into extended child pose now. Coming into extended child pose, have your hands poised like two little wigwams, wrists, elbows, armpits lifted, and press your fingertips into the floor as you sip a long deep breath in. Imagine dragging your fingertips towards you and your heart sneaking forwards beyond the knees. As you exhale, feel your belly cave and melt a little bit deeper towards the ground, towards the thighs. From here, slowly rise up to kneeling on all fours and bring your elbows to the floor. Interlace your fingers again and keeping your elbows beneath your shoulders, tuck under your toes, lift your knees and take a variation on a forearm dog. Let your head be heavy. Look back to see your feet approximately a hip joint width apart. Lift your navel right up into your rib cage and your pelvic floor to your heart. Push down through the elbows, forearms. Now shift forwards and slide the feet back and come into plank, forearm plank. Lifting your heart, lifting your navel, pressing down your elbows, keeping the neck in line with the rest of your spine. And from that forearm plank, slowly from there, exhaling, lift yourself back into your forearm dog, grounding the feet, spreading the toes. Shift forwards again, slowly coming into that forearm plank, navel lifted, heart lifting between the shoulder blades again. Shift back, suck the belly to the spine, let the head melt between your arms, back into your forearm dog. Shift forwards this time, lower the knees, and bring your hands back alongside your feet. Let the backs of your hands settle, line up your fingertips alongside your toes. As you roll over your fingertips, ground the palms of your hands to the sky and lift your sitting bones off your heels. Lift your heart and stretch out your hip flexors and thighs, taking a variation on camel. And as you stretch out those hip flexors and thighs, keep your glutes engaged, squeeze together your elbows. If you prefer to keep your chin resting on your collarbones gazing forwards, that's great. If it feels okay and doesn't feel uncomfortable in the neck, perhaps experiment with letting your head drop back and be hammocked between the shoulder blades. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. Deep breath in, slow breath out. And then exhale and re-land your sitting bones back on your heels. Come upright again. As you come upright, bring yourself to a kneeling position again and bring your right hand to the right of your hip. Take your left arm up and overhead and stretch out the side body. Ease into the side body, some steady rounds of your breath. Back to the centre, and then take your left hand over to the left, weirdly, and take your right arm up and overhead. Peer up past your tricep towards the sky. From there, still kneeling, bring your right hand behind you, somewhere near your toes, and your left hand to the outer right thigh. Pull up really tall through the spine. Lift your torso out of your pelvis and twist, starting with your navel. And as you begin to work your way up through the thoracic vertebrae, try to keep your neck long, your shoulders relaxed, and gaze softly into the corners of both eyes. Slowly unwind and take your left hand to the left, behind the feet, and the right hand to the outer left thigh. I'll get there in the end. As you inhale, and then take that twist and feel as you exhale that tightening of the flesh around your midriff, that engagement deep in your core. And as you twist and turn and softly gaze into the corner of your eyes, each time you breathe in again, feel that extra upward lift. Each time you breathe out, deepen that twist. Slowly find your way back to the midline. A little bit more focus on the spine, the thoracic spine this time. So bringing yourself down onto your elbows. Once again, only this time, bring your hands behind your head and interlace your fingers and cup the back of your head with your palms. Keep the left elbow grounded and raise the right elbow to the sky. And as you raise the right elbow to the sky, keep your belly drawn to your spine. Now change elbows. Bring your right elbow to the floor and lift your left elbow. Exhale and inhale. Exhaling, return to the ground, both elbows, and then inhale. Exhale and inhale, mobilizing the thoracic spine. Exhale and inhale. One more round, exhaling and inhale. Try to stack the shoulders, lift the elbow tip. Exhale and inhale. Finally, just bringing your hands back out in front of you, but taking your elbows slightly forwards and bringing the elbows together ahead of your hairline. So you're zipping your elbows, forearms together and bringing your palms to prayer. Tuck under your toes, keep the knees beneath the hips, and then squeeze your cheeks in between your biceps. Begin to lift your fingertips with your hands still in prayer, and re-squeeze your cheeks with your upper arms, and let your spine sink a deep trench into your back body whilst your buttocks rise towards the sky. Gaze forwards, and with your elbows side by side, you should be able to see a little triangular chink of light, not much bigger than a chunk of Toblerone, between your elbows. Try to melt your upper arms, your triceps, your armpits, your heart to the ground as you breathe steadily. And notice a quiet, still, centered state of being becoming more noticeable now as you come into this shape. Watch the breath again as it ebbs and flows. From there, just slowly manipulate yourself back onto all fours. There's no graceful way of doing that, I don't think. I haven't found it yet. With wrists beneath shoulders and knees beneath hips. Exhale, tuck your tailbone between your thighs and take your cat arch, caving your belly, bowing your head to your heart. And then tuck under your toes and take your kneeling dog tail, lifting your gaze through heart and eyes, once again like you did when you were kneeling upright, mobilizing the spine one bone at a time in that never-ending flowing ocean wave. Keep your brain focused on your spinal column and see if you can articulate each bone of your spine individually. As you come forwards into dogtail, soften the elbows and create a little bit more space between your upper arms through which the heart can travel. As you come into cat stretch, strongly press down your toenails and get that little bit of extra upward thrust as you press into your palms and feet. With toes tucked under coming into dogtail, get a sneaky little toe stretch in for your feet. Once you've practiced a couple more rounds of these, just travelling through the spine in your own time, find yourself then just coming to a neutral spine, whereby your back is obviously flat. Take your left hand closer to your right wrist. Take your right foot to the back of your mat, parallel your right foot with the back of your mat, and stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Push away the mat with your left hand and glance up towards your right thumb. And I'm just going to kick my glasses off the mat before I break yet another pair. Breathe steady. And then exhale and thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Inhale, extract your right arm and stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Working the upper back again, exhaling. And inhale. Exhale as you thread your arm underneath the armpit. Inhale as you extend your fingertips to the sky. One more the same, exhaling again. And inhale as you reach up high. Back in that modified side plank, take your right arm now up and overhead. Again, looking for a side stretch through the side body from armpit to hip. With your right foot grounded, see if you can bloat the side body with your breath. Peer up past your tricep, past your armpit, and try and draw that right arm out of your peripheral vision. Now, honing your balancing skills, lift your right foot from the mat and hold your right leg active and your foot flexed. Your right arm staying forwards, framing the side of your face. You're just holding your balance first of all, Melanie, and flexing out through that right foot. So holding that right leg still and parallel to the floor in your own strength. Now make a fist with the right hand. And as you exhale, draw your elbow to your right knee, elbow to right knee. Now spring open your fingertips and stamp a perfect footprint on the wall behind. Exhale, elbow to knee, navel to the spine. Inhale, bloat the belly, fill the side body, fill the chest. Exhale again, elbow to knee with control. And inhale. Another one the same, exhaling again. And inhale. Back in that side plank, in that balance, try to keep your navel absolutely stationary for one more breath. And then let your right hand come down, your right knee come down. And exhale with your hands back by your feet and your seat back on your heels. Come into factory settings, return to child pose. Just take some steady breaths there. Make sure that your breath has in no way become compromised. The breath ebbing and flowing through your nose without any rough edges between the two. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, let each transition be seamless, almost liquid in quality. Now outstretch your arms in front of you to reframe your ears. Return to kneeling on all fours and bring your right wrist this time slightly closer to your left. Bring your left foot to the back of your mat and stack your shoulders, stack your hips into that side plank, second side, as you reach up with your left hand directly towards the sky and turn to look towards the thumb. Working dynamically with your breath again, exhale and thread the needle, peer out underneath the armpit. Inhale, extract the left arm, spread the fingers like a star lighting up the sky. Exhaling. And inhale, reach up high. Exhale, hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hover. Inhale, rise. Last one the same, exhaling and inhale. Take the left arm up and overhead to frame the back of your face. As you reach forwards with your fingertips, lift your left leg and keep your foot flexed as you find your balance again. Find your balance and keep your navel still and your focus on your breath. Find that stillness, that inner strength and stability, and then challenge yourself with some more movement. Make a fist with the left hand. Exhale and draw the elbow to greet the left knee. Inhale, stamp your footprint on the wall behind, fingertips travel forwards. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhaling. And inhale, hold your balance again. Rookie error, I just remembered that I missed out something. I'm pretty sure we did this, meant to anyway, so bring the left foot to the floor. Exhale, bring your left hand to your hip. Did we do this or not? I can't remember. Doesn't really matter. Inhale, reach up and overhead. Feel we did. Exhale, a bit early for me today. Inhale. Exhaling, yeah, I feel we did. And inhale. Must be old age. Now cartwheel the hand forwards and bring yourself back to kneel on all fours. Start to circle your pelvis, navel drawn to kidneys. And as you circle your pelvis, start to shift the weight bearing forwards towards the wrists and then onwards towards the fingertips. As you bring that weight bearing to bear through your upper body. So also try to take your sit bones all the way back to graze your heels with your bum. As you continue to circle, try not to let your belly flop out like a damp line of washing, but keep it super glued upwards towards your spine. Get into a really smooth, almost waltz-like rhythm. Maybe close your eyes and just enjoy that private dance with yourself. And then begin to waltz back in the opposite direction, listening to the sound of your breath, playing like music in your brain. And again, as you circle and as you smoothly transition in these long, slow, flowing hoops, keep working to take the weight forwards to the front of your mat and back towards your feet. And then gradually, as we wind this down, come back to where you began, to your tabletop, to your kneeling position. Staying on all fours, exhale and hover your hip slightly shy of the left of your mat. Strong arms. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale, hover your hips slightly shy of the right of your mat. Inhale back to the centre, brilliant. Exhale, hover the hips. Try not to collapse them all the way to the floor. Really feel those super strong arms, upper body. Inhale and exhale, hover. Inhale, come back. One more the same. Exhale, hover to the left. Inhale back to the midline. Exhale, hover to the right. Inhale, come back to the midline. Tuck under your toes. Partway, take your sit bone to your heels. Start to lift your knees without immediately straightening your legs. Find downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, just gaze back and check that your feet are hip width apart and they're parallel. Spread your toes and slightly flick out the outer ankles, outer heels towards the two back corners of your mat. Bend your knees and slowly shift the feet forwards now. As you exhale, land at the top of your mat in your forward bend. Let your head be heavy. Broadly spread your toes. Press down particularly firmly through your big toe mounds, little toe mounds and the four corners of your heels. Notice by doing that whether you can affect your hamstring stretch a little bit more. Keeping your knees bent and folding in towards your thighs, bring your hands now behind your ankles, behind your calves, and try to snuggle in a little bit more. As you fold, let your buttocks continue to rise, but don't lock your knees. Try to keep your front body as close to your thighs as possible and keep your head hanging heavy. Feel the breath filling you up to the brim each time you breathe in. And each time you breathe out, Sense the breath emptying from the very, very pit of your belly. Again, in this forward bend, notice a quieter, more introspective state of being. As you continue to hang out with yourself, release your hands from the backs of your legs, and then just pop your two peace fingers, bending your knees as much as you need to, around each of your big toe pads. Peel your front body away from your thighs and look forwards through your heart and eyes. As you sear another deep trench into your back body with the spine, draw your shoulders away from your ears and imagine your sitting bones bursting through your buttocks. Take a deep breath in and fill yourself to the top. As you slowly exhale and squeeze your navel to your kidneys, re-sandwich your front body onto your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Inhale and rise up again. Deep breath in. And then exhale as you squeeze out the breath and fold back into your thighs. One more the same. Inhale, rise, keep the shoulders melting away from your ears. And exhale as you fold back into your thighs, heavy head. Release your hands from your feet, make a big circle around the room that you're in with your fingertips. Hinge at the hips, and with a very heavy tail, bring your hands up to prayer. And as you bring your hands to prayer in raised mountain pose, keep them there. Slowly from here, begin to glide the hand down the right forearm towards the elbow crease. And then inhale, bring your hands above your crown back to prayer. Exhale as you shift over to the left. Inhale, bring your hands back to prayer. Like a reed being blown by the breeze, or a piece of seaweed being washed by the tide, just begin to flow effortlessly and seamlessly from side to side. Once again, improving the suppleness of your spine and stretching out the side body. Again, imagining that you're having your own private dance with yourself. Maybe close your eyes, strongly ground through your feet, and sense that feeling of intimacy, self-awareness, as you internalize. From here, just meet me once you've worked evenly to both sides, with your hands back in prayer above your crown. Begin to tilt back and let your fingertips coast across the surface of the ceiling. As your hips travel forwards, keep your glutes engaged, and again, explore that stretch into the hip flexors and the thighs, the front belly, the chest. Deep breath in. Exhale everything. Keep the neck long. Deep breath in. Exhale. With your hands in prayer, slowly hinge at the hip crease and humbly bow down once again towards the earth. Let your hands rest on your toes, shins or floor as you inhale and lift halfway. And as you exhale, step your left foot back and lower your knee. As you come into your kneeling lunge, inhale and raise your arms to frame your ears. And as you exhale, let your fingers trace 2 lines down the wall behind. Inhale, shift forwards once again, just slow flow. Reach back and overhead, exhaling. Inhale, scoop up that energy. Exhale, release. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale, shift forwards as slowly and as evenly as you can. And exhale. Bring your hands back to the mat to shoulder width to frame the front foot. Lift your back knee and turn in your back heel. As you come into that long lunge now, turn that into warrior one, inhaling as you raise your arms. And then exhaling as you cave your belly and hinge at the hip crease. Let your fingertips rise right up to the sky above your shoulders. Inhale, round through the feet, rise up. Exhale, hollow the belly and bow down. Inhale, rising up slowly. Exhale, bowing down humbly. One more like that, the same, inhaling and exhaling. As you come right back up to warrior one, pause. Heavily weight the tail. Bring your hands back to prayer above your crown and turn your fingertips in between your shoulder blades as you wing out the elbow points. Take another deep breath in as you fill your belly, fill your chest. Exhale, heavily weight the tail and ground evenly through both feet. Take another deep breath in as you smile enigmatically towards the heavens. Exhale everything. Strong legs. Inhale, bloat the belly, fill the chest. And exhale. Keeping your hands in prayer, raise your hands back up towards the sky. And as you exhale, rainbow your hands back down to shoulder width. As you spin on the back foot and set the heel within the frame of your hip, step back to plank and brace. Bring your legs together and push firmly into the mat with both hands. Keeping your toes grounded, begin to swing your hips from side to side. Once again, creating flexion for the spine and weight bearing for the upper body. And as you continue to weight bear through the arms, through the wrists, and swing your hips from side to side, keep drawing your navel towards your spine and keep a soft bend in your elbows. You don't need to over-egg it. When you're ready, come back to stillness, lower your knees and reverse your seat to your heels and bring your hands to your feet for respite. Returning to factory settings in child pose. Once again, tune into your breath. Focus on the transitions between your in-breath and your out-breath. And try to ensure, once again, that those transitions are smooth, not jagged, not rough around the edges, but smooth, silky transitions between the in-breath and the out. As you recharge your batteries, take stock of how you're feeling, perhaps remember your intention. And to your own intention, just perhaps insert this one of mine, to treat your body kindly and with humility. Work collaboratively rather than in conflict with it. Now stretch your arms out in front of you with a deep breath in, rise up to kneel. And as you tuck under your toes, revisit your down-facing dog pose. Let your buttocks rise, spread your fingers and try to scoot the shoulder blades apart. Try to wrap your outer armpits towards the front of your face, and as you gaze back towards your feet and make sure they're hip width apart, spread the pads of your toes. Inch the heels of your feet closer, although not all the way onto the ground. If it's easy to ground your heels, step back a bit. Look forwards now beyond the fingertips. Pick up the left foot and place the foot between your hands. Descend the right knee and revisit that runner's lunge second side. As you inhale, let your thumbs lead the other fingers up towards the heavens. As you exhale, trail your fingertips down the wall behind. Reach forwards, inhale, really imagining scooping up all the good stuff. Exhale and dispensing with what you no longer need. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale, shift forwards. Exhale, reach back. Another one the same, inhaling and exhaling. As you bring your hands back down to shoulder width, lift your back knee and turn the heel to the floor. Rise up, inhaling to warrior one. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, keeping those hips aligned and humbly bowing down to the ground. Lift your fingertips high up to the sky. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up. Try to keep the legs as they are, knee over the heel. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, folding down. As you inhale, rise up and once again bring your hands to prayer. Bring your fingertips in between the shoulder blades and hold that warrior one, winging out the elbow points, stretching out your triceps, armpits, smiling lips and collarbones once again to the heavens. Deep breath in as you fill to the brim. Exhale as you heavily weight the tail. Keep that left knee a little bit more bent if you can. Inhale And exhale. Another deep breath in, knee tracking the middle toe. Exhale. As you inhale, raise your hands. And as you exhale, rainbow your hands back down to the ground. Step back to plank, and once again, brace, squeeze together your inner thighs. And this time, walk out your plank by alternately bending your knees. Building heat, strength, stability, a sense of rising to the challenge and lengthening between crown and tail as you continue to maintain those soft transitions between each breath. If you feel that it's time for you to take a breather, then return to factory settings, taking the cue that comes from your inner voice rather than mine. If you can continue, and you want to continue, then keep going for a few more rounds. And then you too, when you're ready, lower your knees to the ground and come back with your hands by your feet for respite. It's in these moments of rest and pause between sequences of asana, or sequences of poses, where we find the yoga, where we connect truly and completely with our physical bodies, our whole body, our mind, our breath, and that sense of once again being nourished by the breath and encouraged by the breath to draw inward, to turn our attention to the landscape of our worlds within. Once the sap has begun to rise, the breath back on track, sweep the hands from behind your back and bring them back out in front of you. Bring yourself back up to kneel on all fours and revisit down facing dog once again. As you come into down facing dog again, really sharply accentuate the lifting of your hips, the caving of your belly, the tractioning of your shoulder blades apart. And as you spread the fingers and press down through the joints of your fingers and thumbs, smile your collarbones between your thighs and encourage your kneecaps, calves and thighs to hug the bones of your legs and rise upwards towards your hips. Sense the spine lengthening, decompressing the vertebrae, creating more space within each facet joint. Look forwards once again to the top of your mat and bend your knees and prepare as if to do a handstand as you lightly hop or step or hobble if you need to, your feet between your hands. Back in that standing forward bend, your ragdoll. Inhale, lift halfway, and then exhale, squeeze back in towards the thighs. Spread the toes, ground the feet, and make a big circle of imaginary light with your hands, and bring your palms to prayer before pulling them home to the heart and blinking, close your eyes. Standing quietly for a few breaths in mountain pose, once again, just take your focus to the third eye. That spot just above the space between the two eyebrows, on the center of your forehead. Send long, deep roots down into the earth through the soles of both feet. It's a heavily weighted tail. And bear witness to your shoulders melting away from your ears. Preparing yourself now to come into balance, bring your hands back down by your sides. And as you peel your left foot off the floor, starting with the heel, set yourself up with your foot where you need it to be. It could be on the inner thigh, calf or ankle, but don't have it on the knee. Pop your hands on your hips and just check in on the alignment of the hips and whether your pelvis is neutral. Make sure that your tailbone is still heavy and slightly nudging towards the pubic bone. Bring your hands back to prayer, and from there begin to slowly, mindfully hone your balancing skills. As you rise up into your tree pose, draw your outer armpits back and let your shoulders continue to melt down. With your navel stationary and your gaze soft, try not to let any rigidity come into your eyes. Maybe you want to spread your branches of your tree, your fingers like twigs, open to the heavens. Wherever you are in your tree, just Imagine sending long grounding roots into the earth. Keep nudging open that left hip. Keep drawing up tall through your spine. Whoops, my tree's just about to fall down. Apologies for that. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back to prayer. It looks like Anna's tree might have had a little tumble as well. That's fine. When we tumble, we pick ourselves up. And then bring your hands to prayer. Bring your hands back to your heart. Bring your foot back to the earth and blink, close your eyes. Take a moment or two to stand there quietly and simply bear witness to the residue of what you've just done, that balance there. Has it helped to clear out some of the mental clutter? Help you to be that little bit more focused and clear. Second side, as you bring your hands down by your sides and peel the right foot off the floor and pop the foot to the side of the thigh, calf or ankle. Set your hands on your hips, just check in on the alignment of the hips. It's often the case that when we lift the foot, we lift the hip. Keep the tailbone heavy, the navel stationary, your hands return to the heart. And then very gracefully, smoothly send your fingertips way back high, back towards the sky. And as your outer armpits draw back and your shoulders melt down, your neck lengthens and your standing leg strengthens. Continue to focus on your breath as it comes and goes. Maybe spreading your arms out wide, turning your tree from a cypress tree into a wise old oak. And as you continue to balance and practice balancing and pick yourself up when you tumble, again remind yourself, treat yourself kindly. Don't judge yourself. If you're finding yourself struggling to balance today, that's fine. We all have days when balance is harder and some days when it feels more achievable. As you bring your hands home to your heart and your foot back down to the mat, and again close your eyes, just take a moment to quietly be there, focused and arrived, back in the stillness of mountain pose, where the silence possibly echoes. Bring your hands back down by your hips and rise up onto the tips of your toes, keeping your knees together side by side. And as you reach up to the heavens, see if you can just reach up as high as you can, squeezing together your ankles, inner calves, inner knees, inner thighs. Keep the knees squeezed side by side and imagine sliding your bum down the wall behind you. And as you come all the way down, as low, as low, as low as you can go, see if you can arrive there, mindful of your knees. And then stay balanced on your toes, strengthening your ankles, your calves. Rise up onto your tippy toes. Send your fingertips high towards the sky. And then exhale as you angel wing your hands to your hips and bring your heels back to the ground. Do that again, inhaling, coming up onto your feet, balancing there, balancing on your toes. And then squeeze the knees together. Keep the navel drawn to your spine. Imagine sliding your back and your butt down the wall behind. Come all the way into that deep squat. And stay on your toes. And rise up again. Squeeze the legs together. Balance on your toes, strengthening those ankles. Exhale. Bring your hands down by your sides. Once you're there, separate your feet as wide as they'll go. Well, not actually as wide as they'll go, slightly lied there, but less than foot width, and turn your heels in. Place your hands on your hips and then bend your knees and take a squat now into horse stance. As you come into horse stance, once again, weight the tail and track your smallest toes with your knees. Outstretch your arms and take a deep breath in. Bend your elbows and pucker together the flesh between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, squeeze your elbows, forearms, palms of your hands to meet and drop a little bit deeper into that horse stance. Inhale, open up the arms, strengthening those legs. Exhale, squeeze your navel to your kidneys. Inhale, opening up the heart, drop a little bit deeper if you can. Exhaling, deeper still. And inhale. Exhale, drop in a little bit deeper, knees tracking smallest toes. And inhale. Last one the same, exhaling. And inhale. Outstretch your arms, take a deep breath in, and then steeple your hands above your crown as you straighten your legs. Exhale, and angel wing your hands back down by your sides. Turn your attention to your right foot and turn the toes of your right foot towards the end of your mat and set your left foot so it's parallel to it. Outstretch the arms, take a deep breath in and reach way, 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 way out over the toes. Take triangle pose. As you reach up to the sky with your left hand and spread your fingers, glancing to the root of your thumb, keep the back of your neck long. Try lifting and spreading your toes. Feel the kneecaps, calf muscles and thighs once again active, hugging the bones of your legs and rising to the hips. From your triangles, slowly rise, inhaling. And then just pivot your back foot so it's parallel with the mat. Turn the toes of the opposite foot to the opposite end. Reach out over that left leg and then skillfully craft your triangle pose again. With your hand resting lightly on or in front of the calf or shin, glance up towards the root of your thumb. Again, lift the toes and encourage the arches of your feet to lift. Turn your navel, heart and eyes to the sky as you barrel your chest and really lengthen that lifted right arm. Coming back up from your triangle pose, take a moment to turn your toes now so that they're facing the side of the mat. Interlock your fingers behind your back, send your knuckles to the floor and lift your heart and gaze to the heavens. And take another forward bend from this wide leg position now, softening your knees as much as you need to, as you fold into the space between your thighs and your knuckles potentially fall overhead. And as you soften the elbows and round the arms, try not to force your will on that shape, but keep gazing back between your thighs, heavy head, soft unfocused gaze. Stay in your forward bend, lower your knuckles to your tail. Let's take a twist. Bring your left hand beneath your heart. If you need to, you can place it on a block or a book or a brick and take your right hand to the sky and just twist and lengthening your torso parallel to the floor. Lift your toe pads once again. That really actively helps to work the legs. As you exhale, change. Take your twist to the second side and lengthen the back of your head away from the back of your heart. Glance up to the root of your thumb and reach up a little higher with those fingers as you continue to lift the toe pads. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to the ground. With hands shoulder width apart, look forwards through your heart and eyes and imagine your sit bones starting to rise. Again, lift your toe pads. Sear a deep trench into your back body, imaginary, but nevertheless, imagine soldering a deep trench into your back body with your spine. Press your fingertips into the ground and imagine them travelling between your heels. Deep breath in. And then exhale as you fold back into your thighs. Turn your attention to what will be your front foot as you turn to the front of your mat. And as you pivot the toes of your front foot round to bring it to face the front of your mat, prowl your hands round to frame that front foot. Step back to plank and brace. As you come into your plank, bring your left hand closer to your right. If you know for a side plank you prefer to modify, lower your left knee or stack your feet or have one on top of the other, full side plank or a modified plank with your knee beneath your hip, you choose. Breathe into what's there, long deep breaths, and bloat the side body towards the heavens. Again, really feel that inner strength and that determination to rise to the challenge, bubbling up inside, but not at the expense of your breath. When you're ready, change sides. And if you can, come straight away into that side plank, then go for it. Otherwise, take a break and join in when you're ready. And as you take that second side plank, in the same way that you took it before, breathe into every cell and every fibre. from that second side plank, come into your forward facing plank, and once again lower your knees and come back to kneel on your heels upright. Make a fist with your left hand and position that fist into the palm of your right, and then wedge the fist into the lower portion of your belly as you take a deep breath in, and then keep the fist there right in the belly as you fold into your child pose. Continue to breathe long, steady rounds of breath, allowing your fist now to massage your abdominal organs, your digestive tract, but also let the breath flood the plane of your back, and feel as you expand the breath into your body, a sense of inner space. And as you exhale, bear witness to that feeling of inner stillness, inner peace, tranquility and calm. Continuing to let your fist massage your abdominal organs. Try not to let its presence there interfere with your ability to breathe deeply. Your breath will find the space, and your fist will continue to excavate deeper and deeper into the abdominal cavity. From that time spent massaging your organs, breathing into your body here in this position, slowly tuck your chin in and curl your way back up through the spine. Take a moment or two just to let your hands rest back on your thighs as you close your eyes. Providing you're comfortable kneeling, stay kneeling with a long spine and a quiet, centered mind. And again, just take inventory of how you're feeling. Feel the spinal muscles holding your spine erect, the front of your body melting towards the back of your body, the crown of your head ascending upwards towards the rafters. As you raise your arms, inhale and come all the way up onto your knees. And as you exhale, bring your hands to prayer and let your fingertips glance across the surface of the ceiling. Taking yourself into that back bend, thrusting forwards your hips and lifting your gaze through heart and eyes. Try not to let your shoulders crowd your ears. Continue to breathe steadily, taking your hands in prayer between the shoulder blades and winging out the elbow points, leaning your head against your wrists and winging out the elbow tips. Stretch out your armpits, your triceps. From there, still with your hands in prayer, raise them back up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, pull your hands back home to the heart and kneel back onto your heels. Take a moment or two once again just to simply meditate on your breath as you kneel there quietly. Releasing your hands from prayer, extend both of your legs out in front of you, and after all that kneeling and after that working the legs in those standing poses, just give your legs a little workout here, just pointing and flexing your feet alternately, and then separating your feet sufficiently to circle your feet into opposite directions as if you're trying to brush the floor with the tips of your toes. Circle one way, then circle back the opposite one. Now windscreen wipe your legs quite rapidly from side to side. And then finally just bounce your calves and thighs on the floor, but still remain sitting upright. And get those muscles to loosen their grip on bone. And then from here, find stillness, perfect symmetry in the way in which you're lifting your arms and framing your head with them. And then take a long deep breath and lengthen your torso out of your pelvis and come slowly but surely into your seated forward bend with a soft gaze towards the toes again. And again, forward folds, perfect for quietening nervous systems, overactive minds. And obviously the stretch in your back body, hamstrings, calves, thighs. But just keep working to draw your navel right up into your spine. Imagine that that fist is still there, being accommodated in your lower belly. Or imagine that you've leaned out over a football, resting on your thighs. And then take some expansive breaths into the plane of your back, into the side ribs, midways down into the pelvis and hips. And as your breath drains away, imagine any legacy of stress, any tension just being whipped away through the tip of your tail. Ride the wave of each breath with effortless ease. Just like you ride the turbulent waves that come along in our lives, effortlessly, with a smile, with compassion, with humility. From your seated forward bend, tuck your chin into your collarbones, gather your navel to your kidneys and curl your way up through the spine, taking your time to return to your staff pose. Bring your hands behind you, one more plank. Be ashamed to leave this one out. Your upward facing plank, lifting your heart, lifting your hips and just channeling all of that strength into your body. Push down into the ground through your hands. Thrust your hips to the heavens, roll your thigh muscles inwards and down. If this is really too much, don't forget you've always got tabletop in your toolbox to fall back on instead. And continue to smile at the heavens through heart and eyes, and when the time has come and your inner voice is telling you it's come, lower your seat. Extend your legs out in front of you. And then just take a moment or two just to sit a little bit closer to the front of your mat than the back. Before coming to lie down, just gather whatever is not close by that you might need for Shavasana. And then tuck your chin into your collarbones. Keep your heels together, your ankles side by side. Your hands lightly sliding across the thighs. And see how you feel about going down, all the way down, without the help of your hands. But if that ain't happening, bend the knees, bring your hands to the backs of your thighs, and take your root to the floor like that. Once you've got yourself all the way down onto your mat, take a deep breath in and take your arms overhead. And frame your ears with your arms and oscillate your buttocks forwards and backwards, as if you're miming that you're climbing a rope ladder lying on your back. Just tease out any tension that remains in your lower back. Stretch out your side body. From there, take a symmetrical stretch between the extremities with a deep breath in. And then exhale as you sweep your hands down to arrive somewhere adrift of your thighs. Arch your back and reset your shoulders slightly closer to your pelvis. Lift your buttocks and sneak your tailbone closer to the front of your mat between your heels. Roll gently from side to side over the back of your head with closed eyes. And just release the neck and just be passively aware of your brain sloshing around inside your skull. And then just come to the midline. Come to the point where everything is perfectly symmetrical, perfectly in balance and aligned. With your eyes closed, refix your internal gaze upon the third eye. Erase any possible trace of a frown on your brow. And the muscles surrounding your eyes relaxing. Your cheeks melting into the hollows beneath the cheekbones. Your tongue melting from the upper palate deep inside your throat. Sense your back body sinking down into the ground, and be aware of your front body sinking into your back body. Be conscious of the breath as it effortlessly on your part ebbs and flows. One wave of breath being followed by the next wave and the next. And as your breath continues to flow in and flow out, correspondingly, notice how feelings come and go. Feelings and sensations associated with breathing in. And feelings and sensations associated with when you breathe out. Be aware of those feelings. Savour them. Be conscious and aware of those feelings as they come and go with the breath. And allow yourself this time of conscious rest, replenishment, and self-renewal. Be aware of your breath healing and rejuvenating every cell and every fibre of your anatomy, calming your nervous systems, stilling your minds. Slowly, and without agitating your mind or your body's nervous systems, begin to bring your awareness back into the environment where you lie. In your mind, just visualise where you're lying in this room and familiar objects, furnishings, possessions, maybe other people with whom you're sharing the space close by. Slowly begin to reawaken your body. Start by wriggling in fingers and toes. A long, deep stretch, but big stretch. As you scoop up your legs and your arms and hug your shins in towards you, your thighs in towards you, come into a little fetal ball like a newborn baby. A fresh start to your day, a new beginning. Roll over to one side and ask yourself quietly how you're feeling. And when you're ready, just come sitting quietly to sit with crossed legs and closed eyes. Allow the backs of your hands to rest now on your thighs, palms facing the sky. Hopefully by now feeling more grounded, stable and centered, without having to mold your hands to your thighs. And as you drop to your full height, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, a cathartic sigh through the lips. And at the end of that cathartic sigh, bring your hands home in front of your heart and take a few private, prayerful moments to lift whoever it is in whatever situation you find is there in your heart this morning. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me to play. Lovely to see you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Sunday, so hopefully most people will be having a bit of a day off. So keep well.